Macam mana nak jadi seorang YouTuber?
Atau seorang usahawan yang berjaya?
Chill by Sakura HC. Take You There, feat. Ria Chuni by Spectrum.
Joke's on you! No cure for fools.
Getting into the first game of our day, we have Team BNF on blue side and Team Pega on the red side. This will be a best of 3 series, and first to 2 wins. So far, bans are quite uninteresting as both aim to simply ban out solo queue champions
The weak
instead
fear
of
the
focusing
shadows.
on
Fear
tournament
controls them.
champions.
Hey, never pick a fight you can't win.
Looking at the first pick for blue side, they end up picking a Shen. Not a great early pick as it gets countered by champions such as Fiora in the top lane that can deal a large amount of damage to tanks. But it is good if you can build around it with, let's say, a Hecarim jungle or Divey champions. Swain will be the response, which is generally a good matchup into the Shen, as it deals mostly AP damage and Shen's damage block won't really affect him that much. But Swain takes time to scale, so the red team will really be looking for an aggressive jungler early game or a mid that can rotate to be able to make sure that they don't fall too far behind in the game. Ideally in this situation, I would not take a Master Yi. I would be looking for Graves or a champion like at least Kindred, some kind of aggressive champion, but I guess the red side is going for a late game scaling counter. It'll be dangerous if they fall too far behind, they won't be able to recover with this lineup, especially into a Shen Amumu, which can snowball really hard off of early picks, especially with a LeBlanc in the mid lane. Let's see how the red side responds with this. I would like to see something like an Orianna. Lissandra is good in the right hands. Twisted Fate would be even better, as it can secure priority for the jungle to secure Scuttle and Dragons, as well as have pressure around the whole map, alleviating some of the kill threat coming from the blue side early game. Soraka will be the first ban from the red side, as they do not really have that much catch and assassin potential. Fiora ban coming out from the blue side. Assuming to protect the Shen, but with Swain already open. Actually, it might be a Swain support, or even a Swain bot, as this team is known to run Swain in multiple different lanes instead of the traditional top and mid. Red team will ban out the Thresh and potentially pick up another caster. Or an Illaoi top into the Shen matchup. She'll do fine at level 6, but before that Shen will have the advantage in the lane. As well as be really easy to set up kills onto the Illaoi due to the taunt hook combo with the Shen and the Mumu. Lucian Kalista will be the pick from the blue side. I'm not sure what's going. Oh, it may be a Shen support with a Lucian top lane and a Kalista ADC. If this is the case, I am really favoring the red side draft right now, as the blue team is really squishy if the Shen turns out to be a support. Last pick from the red side will be Xayah. Not the best champion in this patch, especially in Season 11 when you have so many, when assassins and tanks are so viable right now. Xayah really takes a long time to scale, and the red team should win late game. if the game goes past around 25 minutes. The blue team really needs to snowball with the Kalista, LeBlanc, and Lucian. If they lose their lanes, the game might as well be over for them at this point. In this downtime, I would like to thank a dance studio, jamming studio, and coming soon, there will be a content space creation area where students can enjoy audio and video recording facilities. A big thank you to our sponsor, EduCity Iskandar, Asia's first multi-campus education city, for being the sponsor of this tournament. For more information on EduCity, please check out their website at educity.com.my. Both sides have loaded in, and we're getting ready to jump into the first game of this best of 3 series between Barney and friends and Team Pepega. Blue side seems to be moving down towards the bottom triangle, similar to the red side. Doesn't look like any team's aiming for an invade this early though, as the Master Yi looks to recall top side.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Both teams unwilling to step up into the river in fear of getting caught. The blue team in this game is actually playing on a really fast timer. If they don't win the game before the 25-minute mark, I think they just lose. Most of their champions are suited more towards the early game and don't really scale as well, especially with the Kalista and Lucian on the same team. If this Master Yi gets ahead on the red side, it may be disastrous for the blue. Illaoi in the top side, into the Shen. 50-50 matchup until Illaoi hits 6, before Illaoi pulls ahead in both CS and kills. Master Yi will start blue side in the bottom lane. Amumu will do the same in red, both aiming to jungle towards the top side of the map. Amumu will clear his red, path towards Raptor, and maybe look for a level 2 gank in the mid lane, as Master Yi just aims to full clear his jungle. In the top side, Kalista heavily zoning off the Illaoi off the wave. Unfavorable matchup for the Illaoi. Actually, it's a Shen support. I just realized. Shen support into Swain and Xayah. Lucian already chunked nearly to half HP this early into the lane stage. It's not favorable as the red bot side hits level 2. Kalista should be doing fine top. Already has an 8 CS score lead against the Illaoi this early into the game, but has no pots while the Illaoi has biscuit delivery as well as the red pot. Both junglers heavily inactive at the moment, with the Amumu clearing his Gromp before moving towards the top side of the jungle. And before moving towards the top lane. Amumu looking for a gank onto the Illaoi. Goes back and waits for Scuttle instead. Seems to me that Amumu will get the top Scuttle Crab, while the Yi just nonchalantly farms his Krugs before making his way to the top lane. Kalista may have stepped up too far here as the Master Yi enters the lane. Flashes Master Yi as a flex. Alpha strikes the Kalista and this should be an easy kill. It does. First blood falls elsewhere, but the Master Yi does secure a kill top, as the Amumu is chunked to below half HP. LeBlanc rotating over, however. Misses the chain onto the Master Yi. Yi flashes, gets the kill on the Amumu before the Illaoi falls. TF TP's up here. Not sure what for. He's now zoned to the other side of the tower. Falls back. Overall, a good trade for the red side, however it would have been even better if the TF didn't TP top, as now he misses at least a wave mid. To me, currently the game looks disastrous for the blue side as the Master Yi was allowed to get 2 kills. Master Yi being a champion that doesn't really do well early game and would just prefer to sit back and farm. It's not favorable for the Amumu to be this far behind so quickly. However, he will get the double Scuttle Crab against the Master Yi, securing him vision of that Drake, which will be essential for them if they want to win this game. On the bot side, Xayah recalls, gets half an item towards the first mythic, already having 1 kill ahead of the Lucian. Mumu attempts to start drag, but falls back after seeing the Master Yi. Shen waiting in the bush, looking for a catch. Will not find anything though. And proceeds to recall, leaving his Lucian in lanes alone versus 2. If the Swain and the Xayah knows this, they can abuse it. Punish the recall of the Shen. In the mid lane, it's just stale farming. LeBlanc being 1 kill ahead but 10 CS behind of the Twisted Fate. Mumu padding towards mid lane. Will decide against it as he returns back to farming Raptors. Fairly uneventful game right now. After the first few kills, as both sides just look to scale. Illaoi hitting 6 is now able to step up into the lane and pressure the Kalista. In the bot lane, Mumu is starting to move. Looking for a gank onto the Xayah and Swain. Lucian will go onto the Swain and pop his flash. Twisted Fate TPs it, however, counter gank. The Swain still will fall, however. They may lose more on the blue side here as the Shen drops low. Flash yellow card onto the Shen. He does go down. However, LeBlanc is here now as she rotates in, lands the chain onto the Twisted Fate. He will drop low, but yes, the Twisted Fate will fall. However, returned kill on the top side as the Master Yi gets the Kalista. 3-0 Master Yi and 3-0 Xayah. A 3k gold lead by the 7th minute into the game. It's just looking like a one-sided snowball now as the Master Yi proceeds to invade the Abumu's jungle, who is already 3 camps behind. LeBlanc will lose at least a wave middle as she proceeds to recall instead of running straight back towards mid. Kalista may die a second time here as he runs into the Yi, but the Yi decides to fall back instead. Illaoi is moving towards the Kalista though, forcing her to take the long path if she wants to enter lane. Cutting the creep wave on Illaoi to apply some pressure onto the top tower. But she may die as she oversteps too far. Oh, pops the ulti, but still will fall to the Kalista as she's unable to land her skill shots and lifesteal. Master Yi will start the Rift Herald. Uncontested by the Mumu as he still is looking to farm. This should just be a free neutral objective towards the red side, which will allow either the mid or the top lane to further accelerate farm with the tower plate. On the bot lane, flash is burned on the Lucian. Good binding by the Swain. As Master Yi pings towards Dragon, this will be the first Dragon of the game. And it'll be huge for the blue side if they lose it. Mumu, however, aware of this, pathing towards bot lane. Master Yi starting the Drake. Mumu nearby, unaware of what's happening around him. This Master Yi may just get the Drake for free. The Mumu didn't ward. The drag will fall to the red team. I'm speechless. Went totally uncontested by the blue side. The red team should really be looking to take fights right now with LeBlanc and Shen. They have so much presence on the map, but on the top side, Kalista's oversteps. Illaoi will live by a slither of health and will proceed to assert dominance on the lane. Master Yi currently almost 10 camps ahead of the Amumu in terms of farm. Having the best game of his life as he progresses towards his first mythic item. Assuming he gets it before 12 minutes into the game, this will be a huge lead for the red side, whose gold is steadily progressing to a 5k gold lead. At 10 minutes into the game, just not ideal. All the scaling champions are currently doing too well on the red side. The blue team is just unable to fight them right now, even despite the Shen and Amumu combo, which we haven't seen throughout the whole game. Game's looking very one-sided for the red team at the moment, as the Master Yi is yet to drop the Rift Herald on bot lane though. Flash onto the Daya as she will fall, shut down onto the Amumu. Swain should fall here too, buy one get one free, as they tried to sit in a bush that was warded from the start.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Ideally, the shutdown should have been given over to the Lucian so that he could get back into the game. Now that it's onto the Mumu, he will have to carry after the first Sunfire. Top lane, he flashes onto the Kalista. Tanking turret though. Kalista will fall as LeBlanc and Shen rotate over. A taunt under tower may be devastating for them. He runs the other way while Laui runs the other. He will fall, shut down onto the LeBlanc. Oh no, it was actually given over to the Shen. Oh, support should not be taking kills. Amumu is yet to do much. Hasn't had much impact early game despite his 3 kills. As I say this, he moves towards bottom. Zaya out. Hook will not land as Zaya flashes away. Lucian living on a slither of health. In the mid lane, Ilawi rotates, getting some free tower plates in the process. Tower may even fall if the Kalista and Amumu do not reach in time. Amumu, however, lands the hook onto the Ilawi. Tanking the turret, Ilawi may fall here. Kalista dropping low too. Ilawi, however, will fall first as the Kalista survives. The blue team right now should be looking to set up for next drag, as the Shen almost gets caught walking into a bush with no vision. All the champions start pathing towards the drag, where I assume the next big fight will take place. Blue side will get the scuttle, securing vision control for drag. Twisted Fate pops Destiny, revealing vision and the position of all the blue side members. They will start up the dragon with no vision from the blue side and the Shen recalling. Amumu is still farming red right beside the dragon, will not contest it. putting the red side even closer to Soul Point. Master Yi pings bottom, making his way down there, unaware of the Amumu sitting in the bush near him. He will, however, spot out the Amumu in the top lane, flash away, and the Kalista will fall to the Illaoi as LeBlanc escapes narrowly. However, the Shen, still lingering around, will escape with the taunt.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Shen will recall top side as this top tier 2 turret falls to the red side at 16 minutes into the game. Bottom tier 2 also being pressured as they make their way towards mid, taking arguably the most important turret in the game should this mid turret fall. They will, however, decide against it as the Swain recalls alongside the Xayah. Blue team securing vision in what little jungle they still have, as the Illaoi will waltz down mid, chunking out the Shen for a decent amount of HP. Master Yi is still free farming away with a 50 CS lead onto the Amumu, which is about 12 jungle camps by 17 minutes. First mythic items completed here on the red team, as the Master Yi will purchase that Immortal Shield Bow. Strange item to be on the Master Yi, as Master Yi goes on to Kalista, flash yellow card with Kia. On the Master Yi, but he may not fall, he will go down to the Lucian, as the Shen and the LeBlanc drop low.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
However, Rift Herald on the bot side summon. Illaoi is hitting on the inhibitor turret, which will fall. LeBlanc lands the chain, however gets chunked for even more of her health. The Rift will fall before it can crash into the inhib though, as the red team is running away with this game. Mid tier 2 turret will fall as well, leaving all the tier 3 turrets exposed on the blue side. Twisted Fate, though caught in the river, will fall. As the Kalista attempts to recover. This Shen pick is not really doing much for the blue side, as they're forced to play from behind. They don't really have anyone that's able to go in and man-fight the red team, as they're lacking the tankiness to do so. The red team having so much damage at this point into the game, with an 8,000 gold lead. And 2 Drakes up. Dragon will spawn soon, which has to be contested by the blue side, unless they want to put the red team on soul point, forcing them to fight for the 4th dragon later on. Amumu once again hovers the dragon, But with no vision, they may not end up fighting for this again. He will drop a pink ward into the pit though, spotting out the members of the red team. Both teams dancing around the pit, reluctant to start. As I say that, the Zaya hits the dragon. Falling quickly, as the dragon's already down to half health. Kalista will try a flank, but will get caught, instantly falling. Should be a free dragon for the red team, as the blue team may lose even more. I'm not sure why the blue team decided to give up 3 dragons when the Amumu was hovering all 3 times this game. Red team will proceed to get a free dragon, abusing the fact that Kalista is still down. On the side though, Ilawi is zoning. Will catch out the Amumu as the Kalista TPs in. Will fall to the Swain here, however. Actually, the kill given over to the Ilawi. Look at the items on this support Swain. He has a Harvester mythic item on a support. At 22 minutes into the game, he's building full AP, not caring about protecting his team. They're just simply too strong at this point. Red team will fall back, but at this point I assume that this game is just over, as the blue side really has no means of scaling past this point into the game. Red team should be utilizing the Baron buff to the full, but currently are just deciding to stay back and farm. Not sure why they're not just running it down mid, as they would be stronger no matter what kind of fight they take. Ilawi will split bottom with TP still up, as most of the red team marches down towards the middle turret. Ilawi is taking the bottom inhibitor for free, as they're not still fighting in the mid despite the 5v4 advantage the blue side had, the Ilawi pushing bottom. Now these Baron enhanced minions are marching down towards the tier 4s. Pump land onto Ilawi, but no damage comes out. Now Amumu gets caught. Good ulti onto 4, but will fall. Will actually is saved, but is thrown back in by the Kalista into 4. As his own teammate threw him into the enemy. Red team will make their way back, however. Uncontested by blue, as they are unable to chase with all these minions knocking down on their Nexus turrets. All 3 lanes of inhibitors are down. which means that there will be creeps flooding the blue side base, forcing them to stay in and defend. If they're unable to shove out the waves in time, this means that the red team will be able to get the 4th dragon for free, putting out that Ocean Soul, which will be huge, providing both mana regen and HP regen, allowing them to siege indefinitely. Dragon will go uncontested to the red team, as the Ocean Soul will fall at 26 minutes into the game. The red team should make their way towards the blue side base, as this will be the last fight of this game. Shen flashing away from the binding coming up to flame. Yellow card onto the Amumu as binding lands. Saved by the Kalista. Thrown back into the enemy team as the hook lands onto the Master Yi. Amumu reluctant to use his ulti, and simply running back towards the base. Flash onto the LeBlanc. Forced to pop the Zonya. However, will fall to the yellow card, as this game is over. 27 minutes with a 10,000 gold lead to the red side.
This is a cardinal.
And the point is eternal life, which is here and now. Come to your senses. When you become again as a child, and simply forget all that you ever were told, and contemplate what is. And then you enter into the eternal state.
I'm not a guru.
you! The weak fear the shadows.
Fear controls them.
Arnie and friends. Similar bans to what we saw in game 1,
Never pick a fight you can't win.
as the Shaco and Kane are banned out.
Doubt is the greatest
Master
enemy.
Yi will be banned this side instead, showing respect to Team Pepega's jungler.
For long.
Life is too short for fear.
Ilaoi will be banned as well. As Team Pepega first pick a Swain. Exactly the same as what they did the game before. Barney and friends respond with a Pantheon. Very strong laner, accompanied with Rammus. A similar kind of jungle to the Amumu. Both building Sunfire Cape and looking to make rotations early. However, if he maintains his style of AFK farming the jungle, the champion really doesn't suit him, as there will be many better choices. Such as the Graves. Echo will be picked out here by the blue team. Presumably mid, with the slight possibility of being jungle and top, as we have seen the Swain to be a support last game. I take that back. Galio now, locked in by the blue side. Not sure about this lineup now, as they have 3 heavy AP dealers with no AD at all in the comp, and all 3 champions being picked in a kind of unorthodox way, as all of them are generally seen to be mid lane champions, but we will see how this goes. Orianna is the response from the red side. Generally good into the Galio, but as we see this Echo on the blue side, they may have just counter-picked themselves, as the Echo is able to shut down the Orianna early and shove her out of the lane. Lucian banned by the blue side, as well as Fiora on the red.
You will not stay in the void.
With the champions they've picked, however, I don't see the need to ban another top laner on the red side. Kaisa will be the second ban. As well as Samira being the last ban of the game. Sivir will be picked out by the red side, paired with the Pantheon, as we've seen them run in games before. The blue side should respond with a strong laner. However, they will opt for Veigar as their 4th pick, leaving them with 4 AP heavy champions and no real tank and AD, saying that they will however pick up the Vayne. But with so little champions to peel for it, I'm not sure if this is actually a good idea or not. The Vayne will just get bursted, especially if Pantheon or Rammus get on top of her. The red side will pick up the Jax as the last pick. Actually goes for the Irelia instead. But currently we're still unsure of which champions are going where on the blue side, as all of them can lane in different lanes, unnatural to their own. However, it looks like it will be a Galio mid into the Orianna instead of the Echo, which would have been a better matchup, but seeing as they have no proper jungler on the blue side other than the Echo, guess this is how it'll end up.
Macam mana nak dapat makanan dengan...
Let me show you as you can.
Welcome back as we jump right into game 2 of this best of 3 series. Team Pepega on the blue side this time and Team Barney and friends on the red. Looking at the team comps for these two teams, I'm favoring the red side team comp as it's more well-rounded and balanced. compared to the 4 AP of the blue side. Pantheon will ward the bottom triangle before backing away to the safety of his own jungle. Veigar is in the top lane instead of it being a support alongside the Vayne. Galio sits comfortably in mid underneath the safety of his tier 1 tower, not looking to invade at all. His Echo will start bottom, and the Rammus will do the same on the red side. This game, I think the red side needs to get ahead early, as they need to abuse the fact that they have the better team comp, even though their players may not be as great as the blue side. Echo moving straight towards his blue buff, while Rammus is looking to full clear the jungle again. Same as what he did in the first game. On the top side though, Irelia going in will chunk a decent amount of HP off the Veigar down to half before going back to farming. Level 2 all in from the Irelia onto the Veigar. Will he get the kill? He will not, as Veigar burns the barrier, although late. On the bot side, Swain gets jumped on by the Pantheon, gets chunked to half before missing his bind onto the Sivir. This red bottom lane should just forever be pushed in to the blue side as the Echo makes his way top. Irelia may have overstayed here as he dives the tower. Veigar flashes out. Irelia flashes and will get the kill onto the Veigar before falling to the Echo. Bottom root will miss onto the Sivir, as the lane state is forever gonna be shoved into the tower, as the Sivir Pantheon lane is simply too strong for them to handle. Bottom scuttle will go to the Rammus, as Echo is still hovering topside. Potentially looking for a gank? No, he will just look towards scuttle before deciding what to do next. Rammus on the bottom side though. Swain gets chunked to below half before the Pantheon gets rooted and dragged back. Not as far as under tower though. Veigar gets stunned top as the Irelia chunks a decent amount of HP before falling back. Sees the Echo in the river and decides against all-inning the Veigar there. In the mid lane, both sides are just happily farming away, as they are both scaling champions that really only want to fight at level 6. In the top lane, Veigar once again gets all in by the Irelia. Will not fall though, as this Echo looks to counter jungle the Rammus' Krugs. It should be a free gank top if the Echo decides to come. But no, he will be spotted on the Irelia's red ward, as the top lane looks fairly secure. This Irelia playing so much better than he did in game 1. Already a 20 CS lead on the top lane for the Irelia. As bottom, Swain forced to flash away from the stun. Pantheon getting dragged back in, well, will almost fall to the burst of the Vayne and the Swain. Will get rooted to the wall and will fall. Root lands onto the Sivir, forced to burn the flash. As Vayne follows up, does not get the kill onto the Sivir, despite committing flash there. Rammus still happily farming away. AFK at full HP and mana. Whilst this Veigar continuously gets pushed in the top lane. Rammus wrapping around the tower. Looking for a chance to dive. Starts rolling. Will commit the flash. Galio, however, responds with the hero's entrance. Gets the stun onto the Veigar. Onto the Rammus, sorry. As the Rammus will fall. Irelia flashing under turret and falling as well. What looked to be a decent dive turned horribly wrong as the Galio hit level 6. Orianna's TP is top after the fight, leaving the mid lane unoccupied now. Echo is onto Dragon and should get it uncontested as he saw the Rammus top lane just now, diving. Dragon will fall for free to the blue side. As both sides look to scale. Irelia at level 6 should be able to all in this Veigar if he gets hit by the stun pop. One level gap. He should be looking to punish. Misses the stun. Takes a good chunk of HP. The bottom lane Vayne gets ignited though. Dies to the Pantheon's ignite before a return kill is dealt onto the Pantheon. In the top lane, Veigar gets stunned. Irelia decides against the all-in, having no ulti. Still a 20 CS gap top, so Irelia leading. Will miss the stun again, stuck inside the Veigar's cage. However, will still lose the trade, actually. This Rammus really needs to make some moves on the map right now, because he's just still farming. At 8 minutes into the game, he's attempted one gank, which has failed. And through the top lane lead for the Irelia. Pantheon stepped up bottom river. Was looking to roam, however just decides to place a pink ward down in the bush before falling back bottom. Top lane, Irelia finally gets the stun onto the Veigar. Will ulti. Gets the all-in onto the Veigar. As expected from this matchup. This Rammus should be looking to play topside more. Maybe secure the Rift Herald and secure this Irelia an even bigger gold lead. As his bottom and mid lane are just content farming at this point in the game. Galio overstepping mid but will not get punished by the Rammus as he decides to recall instead of gank middle. Flash down on the Galio actually. Would have been a free kill if the Rammus just rotated mid. Irelia almost at her first mythic item at 10 minutes into the game. The first power spike will be huge for them, as they'll be able to fight at the next dragon Pantheon jumps onto the Galio, gets the stun. Justice Punch will not land. As Aurelia... As the Orianna will land a 2-man ulti, which amounts to nothing in the end. Swain flashes, does not get the binding. Flash is expended on both teams, but resulting in nothing at the end of the day. Not sure if it was wise to blow these flashes here, as Dragon spawning soon in 45 seconds. The red team will want to take a fight here, with TP and flash up on the Irelia. Gets rooted by the cage, but will get the stun onto the Veigar as the Pantheon ulti stop. Veigar will fall before the Galio TP reaches. Justice Punch will not land, and the Galio will back off. Echo pinging Dragon heavily as his top laner falls. Bottom lane getting priority as the Pantheon left the lane. Top lane, Irelia will get chunked. However, Rammus is on the way. Irelia commits the ulti, but it's too far under tower. She just wasted a long cooldown. Goes back on into the Galio. Dives the turret. Will not fall. As the Dragon falls to Echo in the bot side, with Rammus still staying top. This is the same storyline all over again, as Team Barney and friends totally not contesting any Dragon similar to what they did in game 1. Rammus this time though, however, will attempt to do the Rift Herald as Echo counter jungles him. The first neutral objective he will get over the span of these 2 games, as the Echo looks for a jump onto the Pantheon with the support of the Veigar. Gets popped instantly by the Veigar ulti, however Echo claims the kill as the Swain lands the binding bottom but is blocked by the mana shield. Several ultis to run away, with Orianna pathing towards bot. Blue side will fall back, content with what they got. Seems like Team Veigar will get some power plays bottom, as the Rift Herald is summoned mid. It'll be a race to see who gets the first turret of the game, as the turret in both the mid lane and the bottom lane are falling. Looks to me, however, that Team Barney and friends will get the first turret mid. Galio getting pressured heavily top, as the red team continue to run down mid after seeing 4 champions bottom. They will get this tower for free, undefended. Putting their net worth at even at 14 minutes into the game, despite being 2 kills down on the red side. Irelia getting her first Trinity spike, Trinity Force would have been a huge power spike for the red team, but he's just sitting in lane farming. Saying this though, the Galio gets caught topside. Should fall to the 4 champions here, almost brings down the Irelia and the Pantheon. 1v4. As the blue team moves up to try and catch, but will decide against it. As the red team recall, but they've recalled in really aggressive positions, but ended up not being punished at all by the blue side, as the Veigar and the Swain didn't check the lane. Orianna TP's middle to defend the tier 1 tower, almost gets caught by the Veigar cage. first mythic item completed on the Orianna and the Luden's Echo. They should be looking to take a fight here, but their team is not set up in a way for them to be able to take fights. They have zero vision set up, and the Irelia gets caught in the topside river. Gets out as he misses the stun. Pantheon jumps in with the ultimate. Flash taunt onto the Swain before being stuck by the cage. Rammus will almost fall. He will fall to the Galio's Hero's entrance. As the blue team come out ahead in that fight. Most summoners being expended on the red side. Flash being down on the Rammus and the Sivir will mean that they are not able to fight for the next 2 minutes. However, Irelia goes in, misses the stun onto the 4 champions. Gets popped instantly by the Vega ulti kill going over to the Galio. Pantheon flash spears onto the Vega, which is stopwatched just in time. As the blue side look to set up for the next dragon, which would put them at soul point by the way. A lot more action going on in this game than in the first game. Infernal Drake will spawn as Echo gets taunted by the Rammus. Will ult back to safety as the red team starts. Will they start? No, they decide not to. Despite seeing that the Expo had no ulti, they decided not to do the dragon. The members of the blue team weren't set up in a way that they could fight that. If the red team decided to just all in the dragon. Now Team Pepega. Vayne started the dragon. Captured the Pantheon in the cage. Justice Punch will land as the Pantheon falls. Rammus rolls in. Decides not to taunt anyone and is just running away. Irelia stun lands onto the Swain. As the Swain will fall, however return kills onto the Rammus. As the Echo is simply too strong. His 4 and 0 kill line dashes into the stun, will kill himself. Shutdown going over to the Irelia. The only one true carry at this point misses the ulti though. Second shutdown going over to him. As he chases for more. Q flashes onto the Vega. That's not a combo by the way. As he's stuck in the cage and is forced to back off. On the bot lane, Orianna will chase under the tower. Gets the Vayne before dying. But overall, I see this as a win for the red side. As the Orianna got 1.2k gold worth of shutdown on the blue side. It was looking so good for Team Pepega, but they got caught out after they decided to continue chasing. The red team will claim the first dragon of the game, putting the blue team away from the Infernal Soul. Despite being at a 4-kill deficit, I think this game looks pretty good for the red team right now, as their champions are able to scale a lot more. The AP heavy lineup already slowly starting to get punished by the red side, as the Irelia built into a wit's end, giving her more survivability into these heavy AP damage dealers. In the topside river, Irelia walks up, will not commit. 5 blue champions sitting in the river, hoping to catch someone out. But Daisuke on the Sivir does not check smartly and retreats to the safety of his tier 1 tower. scanner will be used to establish vision on the bottom side of the river, but with there not being told that thought actually, as the Vega gets caught out here, gets taunted by the Rammus as a huge hero's entrance comes out, destroying the red team. Baron should be started up here by the blue team, as the jungler on the red side is dead. This will go uncontested as the Irelia and Orianna just look to push in the lane. Sliver is still happily farming in the bot lane, despite all the deaths happening to his team. So finally gets the tier 1 tower bottom, as the Sivir inches closer to his 3-item power spike, which is still a while away.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Top lane, Vega gets got on by the Irelia. I mean, Echo, sorry. Ulti is committed, and the Echo will fall. Overstepping there. Not sure why he's farming top lane when all the members of the red team aren't showing on the map like that. Blue team, however, needs to make some moves soon, as the Sivir and Orianna grow closer and closer to the mid game, where they really shine. As the Sivir really gets ahead with items. Gold lead at 22 minutes is minimal, as both teams are even at 37k gold. Since Irelia having a bounty on her head, looking towards, I believe, the new mortal of Season 11 in the Camp Punk Chainsaw, I believe it's called. Mid lane, Pantheon almost gets caught as the Echo jumps in. Echo ults back to safety. Orianna, huge 3-man ultimate. Not enough damage, however, as there's no follow-up from the red team. Orianna falling low, and Sivir still not being in a position to fight. Irelia, however, may look for more, or attempts to escape, but is spotted on the blast cone. Will escape for now, as Dragon respawns. With 3 members of the red team recalling at this time, they may not be able to contest this Dragon. Dragon is started up as Irelia flashes and jumps in onto the Bane. Will get pushed out by the blue team completely falling here as the Dragon goes over to the red side. Apologies, internet cut out for a while there. Sivir stuck in the cage for a moment as the Rammus gets chunked to below half HP. Overall, a huge win for the red side as they made it in time for Dragon. Getting 3 heroes for 0. Putting both teams at 2 drakes apiece. With 2 Infernal Souls onto the red side. Just even scarier than the 2 dragons of the blue. Galio decides to go tank instead of AP. Realizing that they have too much ability power damage already. The blue team, however, really need to make some moves, as the red team is given a lot of time to scale. However, with the cooldown of the Galio's ulti being so long, it doesn't really look like they can do anything right now. Despite all the flashes being down on the red side, it seems that the blue team is unaware of this. They will, however, look to push middle as the cage lands onto Vega, overstepping under the tower though, and will get top instantly. Pantheon getting the kill. Taunt onto 2. But Rammus rolls away, leaving the Orianna as the sacrifice. Irelia flanks though, landing the ulti onto 3. Getting the resets onto everyone as the Galio's hero as entrance does nothing. He will just go down to tower and feed. With 2 kills going over to the Irelia, who is already 9 and 3 at this point in the game. The 700 gold bounty on his head. 3 completed items. This Irelia is really able to single-handedly carry this red team, allowing the Sivir to just free farm. Second item in the mask completed on the Orianna. Looking towards potentially a Rabadon spellcap or a Spellbinder, which will be a huge power spike for the Orianna, potentially allowing them to one-shot a lot of the members on the blue team who are not building any MR at the moment. The only tank on the blue team being the Galio, who has opted for Gargoyle's Stoneblade and a Sunfire Cape instead of the traditional AP items. Essence Reaver now completed onto the Sivir, providing her some even more much needed crit. As Irelia makes her way down bottom. Despite not having teleport up, blue team should really be looking to do Baron at this point. The Irelia is showing on the bottom lane. They could have rushed the Baron and made it in time for Drake. Instead, they decide to set up vision around the Dragon Pit. But with Scuttle Crab down, it provides some much needed vision for the red team. Irelia may be walking into a trap here. Almost walks into the Echo Stun. However, it looks like a good flank from the red team as the blue team is entirely spread out. Vayne instantly gets bursted before she could even join the fight. Galio's stuck in a cage at the moment. Gets stunned by the Irelia. Sterak's cage pops. But the Galio should fall for free here. Over to the Pantheon. As the Vega gets taunted behind by the Rammus. Sivir continues chasing but backs off. Red team will get the third dragon of the game, putting them at 3 Infernal Drake, as well as Soul Point. Echo jumps in late, putting himself in the pit. He just feeds another kill. What are you doing? There should be a free Baron now that the blue side jungle is dead. Popega will make their move up to the Baron. Blue team completely not in a position to contest this. Irelia, however, goes low, will fall to Baron. Out tapped or something, not looking at his screen. It's actually pretty big for Irelia to die there, as now he doesn't have the Baron buff and won't be able to split with teleport gonna be up. Blue team falling further and further behind with a 4k gold deficit at the moment, as well as soul point for the red side. If the red team get the last Infernal Dragon, they should be in pole position to win this game, as they'll simply have too much damage, and the 4 AP champions on the blue side scaling off. MR being built on most of the red side champions, with Spirit Visage completed onto the Rammus. Pantheon as well, dealing too much damage with the new mythic item Eclipse. Has a more second item, preventing the burst on the blue team. Red team taking control of the bottom blue side jungle, not allowing the blue team to step in at all. As Irelia bottom. Slowly splitting away. Mid lane tower being pushed in. Echo still showing bottom, as Pantheon looking for a flank. Will be spotted out by the ward before backing away. Cage will land onto the Rammus though, to get chunked for a quarter of its HP. Baron buff not being on this Irelia really stopping the red team from pushing in, as the creeps bottom just continuously get cleared by this Echo. Orianna, however, caught out by the cage, will get popped by the Veigar, and this will put an end to the red team's attempt to push in the tier 3 tower. Blue team slowly regaining their positioning on the map, taking back control of their bottom side jungle, as well as getting this tier 1 tower mid. Orianna, however, will be up for the next big dragon fight, as the red team looks to get the Infernal Soul. Blue team gaining control of the bottom river, as Orianna is still making her way from base. Vayne recalling at this point cancels, realizing that Dragon is up. Dragon will spawn. Sivir is pushing in the mid lane turret alone. The Dragon Pit, however, neither side has started Dragon. Flash in by Galio Taunt lands onto the Irelia. This is not the target they want to go on. Hero's entrance will be cancelled, as the Orianna gets bursted instantly. However, Irelia will fall as he oversteps and gets bursted. Looking like a good fight for the blue team. However, the Sivir is still ratting away middle. Tier 4 tower will fall as he walks away safely. Pantheon, however, on the other side will fall, as the blue team should claim this dragon, putting them at soul point too. That was a 5v4 fight where the red team did not have their Sivir, allowing the blue side to come out ahead. Sivir ratting in the middle tower though. Not really a worth trade considering that if they got the Infernal Soul, they would have just straight up won the game, with Sivir being at almost 3 completed items right now. Red team's throwing the lead, allowing the blue side to potentially get an Infernal Soul and completely turn the game on its head. Baron spawning in 10 seconds. With Galio ulti still down, the red team should really be looking to abuse this fact, as the Swain may be getting caught here. Gets jumped on by the Pantheon. Will not fall, as Echo falls low. Sivir, however, gets bursted by the Swain, as the cage lands onto 2. However, this Pantheon does too much damage for a support, able to burst down the Vayne alone, as Sterak's pops on this Irelia, missing the stun onto the Galio. However, will still get the kill as he gets a quadra kill, and this should potentially be the game, as Orianna TP'd down middle, hitting away at the Nexus. It should be the end of game 2, putting Team Pepega as the winner of this game and tournament. My apologies, it seems like it's 1-1 at the moment, as the teams did not switch sides for the second game. jumping right back into the pick and ban phase for game 3.
Life is too short for fear.
1-1. Arnie and Pen on the blue side with Taylor on the red side.
The joke's on you!
Team Pepega stepping it up greatly last game to bring it back from 1-0 down. It's as if the top lane player changed entirely. Now completely stomping on the enemy on the top lane. The actual top gap second game.
You can't cage me for long. No cure for fools.
Same bans coming out as the previous game.
Spear will find your
With
back.
Pantheon, the new third ban for Team Pepega. First picking a Lucian on the blue side. Easily punishable though. Although it is a flexible pick that can go all 3 lanes, mid, top and bot. Fiora is the response from the red team. Not really a good matchup if paired with the Lucian top, as she just simply gets outranged and outtraded early game, which is when Lucian shines the most with his high damage and low cooldowns. Kayn is actually open this game and will instantly be locked up by the red side. Really strong champion, can go both assassin build and a tanky one, depending on the matchup. Blue team looking to pick up a set here. Instead opts for the Rammus into the Kayn, which is a counter pick themselves if the Kayn goes red Kayn, because red Kayn simply lifesteals too much for the Rammus to be doing any significant damage to him. Set will be the third pick for the blue side, presumably going to be support or top, but most likely support with a Lucian duo, as it would be a really strong lane, especially into this Kai'Sa. This Kai'Sa should get zoned off the wave early game by the Set and the Lucian, unable to walk up unless the red team decide to get a strong support. Orianna will be banned out, not giving the blue side the opportunity to pick her.
I reckon.
Which will be responded with a TF ban, which the red side has been playing throughout this entire tournament. Seems to be some lag in the game as the timer reaches 0 but no ban. Okay. Vladimir ban on the red side and Swain ban on the blue side before a Rise is looking to be picked up on the red. Makes up for the lack of AP damage on the red team, as well as being a strong champion towards the mid and late game. Red team, however, should be looking at this red team draft and be looking to abuse the fact that they don't really have much champions that want to fight early game. Unless the Kayn gets ahead, there's really nobody on the red team who's looking to actually fight. Fiora really wants her first item power spike at the Trinity Force, or in the new patch, maybe one of the new mythic items. And Kai'Sa really needs time to scale, as well as the Rise to stack his tier. This LeBlanc and Gangplank pick on the blue side allows for more pressure on the side lanes, as LeBlanc can roam very easily and the Gangplank can just ulti universally, allowing for pressure all around the map. This Nautilus pick bottom, potentially a really good pick into the set Lucian lane of the blue side. Doesn't really get bursted by both the Lucian and the set. Even if he's caught out, his armor makes it really hard for them to kill him early game. And allows for some catch, which was really needed on the red team. It's actually a really good pick by them. Can even potentially roam on the Nautilus to mid and make space for the Rise, potentially getting a kill onto the LeBlanc. Overall, I'm favoring this red side draft a lot more, as we've seen the Rammus on the blue side to be more of an AFK farmer instead of proactive, which will probably lose them the lead early game, allowing the red team to scale. We will have to see in the game itself. Both sides loaded into the game now, as what looks to be the final game of our best of 3 series. Team Barney and Friends versus Team Pepega.
To Summoner's Rift.
As usual, both teams just guarding the entrances to their jungles. Not looking for early invades.
Minion spawn.
Seems we have a DC on the blue side. We will now have to pause as we wait for him to return. Oh, and he's back. Okay. Currently, at this point, I'm favoring the red side draft more as they have a more balanced team. But if the blue team gets ahead early game, it could really spell problems for the red side, as this Lucian set lane could be really devastating and just take over the game early on, alongside the LeBlanc, which will be able to help out and roam early. Most of the early game will be depending on whether or not the Rammus decides to gank, and if the Kayn manages to get ahead or not. In the top lane, Fiora is sitting in the bush. AFK does not see the Gangplank walking up. They'll take an auto attack as the Gangplank drops a ward and harasses her. Kayn starting Raptors whilst the Rammus starts red as usual. Kayn skips over red and does Krugs instead, which is quite interesting. Seems like he would either be looking for a level 2 gank or do his red and path towards the bottom side of the map and play around there instead. If the Rammus realizes this Fiora should be a free gank later on when he decides to path top eventually, as the Kayn would be on the bottom side of the map. Bot lane, both sides equally happy to just farm it out, while the Rammus slowly takes blue. Quite low in HP. Whilst the Gangplank just asserts dominance onto the Fiora. Fiora less than 20% HP now. The Kayn forced to come in and help. Jumps onto the Gangplank. So with Flash still up, I don't see him dying. Tries to go for the outplay. Healing with the Grasp of the Undying. Almost 1v2s. Flashes onto the Kayn, gets the kill, while the Rammus comes in and taunts the Fiora. First 2 kills going over to the blue side, as they have the stronger champion. And this Gangplank seems to just be running away with it. The bottom lane too, the Kai'Sa are getting caught out by the set. Will have to flash and heal. Both Suns down for the Kai'Sa. This will leave her susceptible to ganks if the Rammus decides to make his way down bottom. Kayn making his way down bottom. Has a sweeper. Will walking into this bush undetected as the set goes in, unaware of the Kayn waiting in the bush. Flashes onto the Kai'Sa and actually gets the kill before going down to the Kayn. This Nautilus should fall too. Actually, yes, he gets the trade on the Lucian onto the Nautilus before giving the Kayn a double kill, putting him closer to his transformation. Good parry top on the Fiora, but still loses the trade and may even go down if this barrel lands. Dashes away to safety. But the Gangplank here may get a freeze if he decides to, as the creep wave is largely in his favor, with Fiora forced to back away under the tower. As I said early on, a lot of the movements in this game will be decided by both teams' junglers. With the Kayn moving especially well, despite failing the gank top and getting countered by the Rammus just now. He's now that much closer to away from his transformation, which I presume will be the red Kayn, as he's working towards a Gore Drinker as his mythic item. The top lane Fiora is getting zoned heavily off the wave, as the Gangplank has a 15 CS lead on the Fiora. In the bot lane though, in the bot side of the jungle, Rammus almost walks into the Kayn. Amounts to nothing as the Kayn is spotted on a ward. Goes back to farm. Ryze makes his way top though. Gets a binding onto the Gangplank, but too many creeps are there. It's getting chunked away. Kayn's waiting patiently for the blue bottom lane to overstep. Good hook onto the Lucian. Does not have flash at the moment. This should just be a free kill for the Kai'Sa, as the Lucian gets caught out. This should also just be a free dragon for the Kayn, as Ryze TP's middle, looking to shove in the wave. Lucian still making his way there from base. Rammus, however, is aware. Or is he not? If he opts for red instead of checking the dragon. This has happened way too often, with the Rammus not really aware of the neutral objectives on the map every single game. Kayn now sitting in the middle bush, waiting for the LeBlanc to overstep. Just clears the ward instead. In the top lane, the advantage for the Gangplank is growing even bigger, as he's now 20 CS ahead. And Fiora is forced to back away with creeps shoving into her tower with no TP. This means that the Fiora will lose 2 waves of XP, as he decides to back now with such a massive creep wave pushing under his tower. Gangplank may get some turret plates for free, but will opt to back instead. Ryze in the mid lane, however, opts against the standard tier Archangel's build and goes instead for Lost Chapter, leaving me to believe that he's actually going for Luden's Echo, not a common item we see on Ryze, because Ryze generally doesn't have any problems pushing in the wave. There's really no need to build such an item as Luden's. But with the new patch and the new mythic items, it may be the best choice he has, or he may be opting for a build which is less common than what we traditionally see. Nautilus sitting in the alcove. Gets spotted though as he walks into the bush. Rammus pings the top. Kayn pings the top lane as the Fiora trades with the Gangplank, losing on the trade severely. As the Rammus is here, Fiora is forced to flash. Should still go down to the taunt. Will go down as the Kayn is forced to 1v2 now. Flashes away. LeBlanc coming in the river. Kayn will just sit under the top tier 1. Trying to get one little experience he can. Smites away the cannon creep to make sure he doesn't miss it. Fiora is really not having a good game. 30 CS behind, 0-2 down. And is currently 2 levels behind the Gangplank. Rammus will start out the Rift Herald. Kayn, however, may be aware of this, goes down to check, will spot out the Rammus doing the Rift Herald. Ryze moves to support the Kayn. LeBlanc recalls, This means that it should just be a free herald if the Kayn decides to do it. But the Kayn opts against it in the bottom lane, however. Lucian will get chunked, forced to top heal. Both teams still at relatively decent health. Top lane is currently unplayable for the Fiora, the Gangplank buying steel boots first for the armor and having a sheen. It's just impossible to trade into this Gangplank as the Ryze looks to clear a pink ward. Rammus is running over, however, with a LeBlanc. Kayn will land, will get taunted and should fall here. Actually gets the phase rush off. LeBlanc is forced to flash, but they will still get the kill. Rammus, mid, looking to die, cancels his roll, as the Lucian is left alone in the bottom lane to fend off the Nautilus and the Kai'Sa. Gangplank should get a freeze here, but instead chooses to push out the wave. Not really the best idea, considering that he could have just held the wave there the whole time for the next 2 to 3 waves, forcing the enemy jungle to rotate top. Kayn will, however, start out the Rift Herald. No vision from the blue side to spot him out. Dragon, however, is spawning. And the Rammus has priority both middle and bottom should he choose to move towards the dragon. Rift Herald should just fall for the Kayn. Uncontested here. And he should be running towards dragon now. Instead chooses to recall. As the Rammus does not start dragon despite knowing that Rift Herald just fell. Kayn would have been on the other side of the map and retire both mid and bot. That should have been a free dragon for the blue side. Now the blue side will start the dragon. And will go uncontested as the Kayn is still walking from base. However, this Ryze caught out in the river will get taunted and should fall here. Kayn has his red Kayn transformation at 13 minutes into the game. Should be really strong. Ulti's into the Rammus, which will fall. 3-man knockup by the Kayn, turning the fight. However, it may not be enough as there are too many members of the blue team still alive. Kai'Sa, however, going for the outplay, will get the Gangplank before falling. This Nautilus forced to flash away to safety as the blue team come out ahead in that exchange. 2 for 4 on the blue side. Now a 3k gold lead for Barney and friends, with the Sunfire Aegis being completed on the Rammus, as well as the Triforce on the Gangplank. With no neutral objectives on the map now, both teams will look to just farm up their respective sides of the map. With no tower falling yet. Kayn, however, still holding the Herald. He should really be using it to get the first tower, especially since tower plating is already gone. Ryze, however, TP's top. Gets the binding onto the Gangplank, but it shouldn't amount to much. As the Kayn rotates up here as well, leaving mid tower exposed. However, Kayn will drop the Rift Herald top, guaranteeing them the first tower of the game. Unless the blue side somehow gets mid tower first, which is highly unlikely considering that there's a Rift Herald top. However, the Rift Herald will die and the tower is protected 1v3 by the Gangplank. This may mean LeBlanc just gets the mid tower for free. As the Rammus makes his way top, Roll falls just short, unable to get onto the Rise. LeBlanc still hitting away at the middle tower, as it almost falls. Fiora moving middle to protect it. LeBlanc attempts to get the tower, but will get chunked by the Fiora. Chain of Corruption lands onto the Fiora, which fails to be parried actually. Gangplank falling low in the top side. Almost gets solo killed by the Rise, as the first tower will fall to the LeBlanc. Whilst both bot lanes just farming out for the past 8 minutes or so. In the mid lane, Flash smite onto the Fiora. Rammus dives the tower, will not get the taunt, and the Fiora will make it out alive. LeBlanc 2 spent her flash, and they will not have it up for the next dragon fight, which is in 1 minute. Zed is currently making his way top, will be spotted on the pink ward in the river however. Rise will back off seeing this. Zed starts moving towards the dragon pit. Nautilus doing the same, looking to flank the solution, will get blocked by creeps though, not allowing him to get the hook off. Rammus pings the Drake, being aware of it. The red team currently not in position to even contest this, as the Drake spawns in 30 seconds. Kayn is showing top lane, giving the blue team the knowledge that the enemy jungler is not in the area. Kayn however is running towards the bot side of the map, looking to contest this drag. Dragon will spawn and Kayn is in the area. Getting zoned out completely by the set though, as the rest of the team is starting the Cloud Drake. Nautilus will hook in into 3 people as the Rammus gets the smite onto the Drake. Taunt goes on to the Kayn as he falls, as well as the Nautilus. This will be a sweep as the blue team cleans up the Kai'Sa, who fed her life, ulting into the pit for no reason.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Rise, however, still farming in the top lane, will get the tower as the Gangplank makes his way back. An 8 kill deficit for the red team at 18 minutes into the game. As well as 4k net worth deficit. However, Gangplank suddenly disconnects. We will have a pause here waiting for him. The blue team seemed to be really ahead this game, as the Rammus suddenly changed his playstyle from all the games before, making a lot of rotations early game with his 10 kill participations out of the 13, making use of his item power timings. Rise actually went for Liandry's instead of the Luden's Echo. Better item, as it gives him the burn damage as well as the ability haste on the passive. Looks to be opting for Archangels though, but only starts stacking the tier late. This means that it'll take him even longer before he gets online and able to actually fight. Kayn opts for a Hex Drinker into this 380 damage lineup, with the only AP being LeBlanc. Really inefficient item for the Kayn, as he would really much rather go for a Black Cleaver to amplify his damage and HP. First smithing item not even completed on the Fiora at this point. Like he's back as the game resumes, and he's gone again.
A summoner has disconnected.
Game has been unpaused and we are right back into the game. Quick recap to those unsure, this is straight after the blue team won the fight at the second dragon. As the Fiora looks to split bottom, but is quickly replied by the Uosm. Mid lane, Nautilus looking for a hook. Forced to flash away as the set Hex flashes onto him. All cooldowns up on the blue side, they should really be looking to fight with the item advantage. And blue side still, I mean red side still needing time to scale. In the mid lane, LeBlanc is looking for a burst onto the Kai'Sa. Sees the Nautilus and goes back off. Misses the last hit onto the cannon creep actually. Probably feeling pretty down about that. Top lane though, they will trade 1 for 1 as the Rise and the Gangplank fall to each other.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Bottom tier 1 tower will die as the Fiora recalls right under it, unaware of the set right beside him. Will parry the roll, but should still fall as the kill is given over to the Rammus. Probably doing some shopping but not looking at the map. Blue team looking to push towards the bottom tier 2. Decides to take the blue buff instead. Tier on Rise not even close to being halfway stacked at 22 minutes into the game. It's really not ideal. He won't be able to fight until he gets his Archangels. Which at this rate will only come after 30 minutes into the game. Next dragon spawning in 40 seconds. No vision being set up at Bot River yet by either team. As the Nautilus is making his way there. Or is he? No, the Nautilus opts to stay mid. Still no vision set up for the dragon fight that's about to happen. Should the red team choose to fight this, they should really be setting up vision now. If not, they will be forced to fight the next dragon at some point. Seems like it's being given up for free. The red team are unable to contest, but Kayn is looking to sneak a Baron. Not sure if they have the damage for this, as the Kai'Sa is nowhere near the Baron's pit. Dragon will fall, and the blue team is starting to make their way up. Kayn drops low by the damage from the Baron. And is forced to recall. Scuttle will go over to the blue side, giving them full control over the entrance to Baron. Second item's already complete on the cores of the blue side. This means that they're so much stronger at this moment in the game, being 5k net worth ahead. They should really be looking to fight. All their CDs are up. Fiora will get a tower on the bot side, exposing her location. Set is running into the top side jungle, looking for a pick. May run into the Kayn, gets taunted by the Rammus. Out into the Rammus. Gets chain CC'd by the Set and will fall. Ryze ulti falls short, and blue team currently is running towards Baron. As LeBlanc sits in the bush waiting for another pick, will get spotted out by the ward. As the Lucian is on the Baron. There is a ward in the pit that gives vision, unspotted by the blue team. It means the red team is fully aware of what's happening in the pit. But with no Kayn, they're not able to contest this at all, or even attempt to steal. This means Baron will go down for free. Fiora still split pushing bottom. Despite this, she's still 70 CS behind the Gangplank at this moment in time. However, the Ryze and the Kai'Sa surprisingly managed to get a decent amount of CS ahead of their competitors on the blue side. Ryze being 70 CS up on the LeBlanc, but the LeBlanc having a lot more kill participation and impact in the early game. The blue team will split 1-4, with the Gangplank pushing bottom with TP to respond in case anything happens down in the mid lane. First tier 2 tower will fall. As the Fiora and Kai'Sa back away from the bottom towers to join the team mid. Set may be overstepping here, however. Does not get jumped on by the Nautilus for some reason. Bottom tier 2 just goes down for free to the Gangplank. And the red team are forced to split their attention between both lanes, getting sieged simultaneously. Kai'Sa may have just been caught out, however, stun goes out onto the Set, who will survive with half HP. Kayn jumps in. Nautilus gets bursted by the Gangplank barrel. As the Gangplank dives under turret and falls. Rammus 2 will fall underneath the turret to the Ryze. As the Lucian gets solo killed by the Fiora. Really not ideal, considering the 5k net worth had the 5k net worth lead the blue team had, as well as the Baron buff. They didn't need to dive, all they had to do was just sit outside the tower and farm. Just continuously push in the creep waves and slowly hit away the tower. Now the Kayn gets bursted, and the LeBlanc's TP will get cancelled. Will fall to the Ryze, giving the Ryze 3 kills in that skirmish, and 150 bounty on the Ryze. Still far away from stacking the tier, however, but got a lot of gold from the shutdown kills. Now the red team will be able to regain control of the bottom side jungle as they look towards Baron, I mean the third dragon, as well as the soul point for the blue team. Blue team gaining vision control over Dragon as the red team falls back away from Drake. They decide to give Soul away for free to the blue side. In case you're not sure of what Cloud Soul does, it gives you a lot of move speed, as well as reduces your ultimate cooldown. This means that the blue side will be able to be more active on the map, as their ultimates will be up a lot more. The blue team should just be looking to slow push into these inhibitors. Rise opted for Ninja Tab Ice instead of Sorcery Boots or Magic Resist Boots. Not sure why, as he's been 1v1ing the LeBlanc for the longest period of time, and decided to build Morello instead of other items that would have given him a significant lead. There is currently very little to no lifesteal on the blue side, leading there to be no reason for this Rise pick up the Morello. Could have opted for Rabadons or even Spellbinder instead. Instead chose to build a Rabadon, Morello Nomicon, which is a waste of 3,000 gold from the fights before. Third item being complete on the Gangplank, but still happily farming away instead of pushing his advantage. Despite there being a 6k net worth lead on the blue side as well as the Soul, they don't look like they're doing much of it. They're just sitting back and farming for no reason, giving the red team space to farm and scale on the Rise and Kai'Sa, which will be a problem if this game hits late game, which is slowly approaching. Baron spawns, Lucian and Gangplank still on the bottom side of the map. The red team should be looking to fight here, but instead choose to sit in a bush and hope that the blue team are careless enough to wander into the bush. Rise is spotted on the ward as he's sitting outside the bush, and the positions of the red team is just exposed. Set walks into the bush blind. However, the Kai'Sa and the Rise have already walked out beforehand, as the TP comes in from the Fiora, which should have continued pushing in the bot lane. Now the blue team just backs and they lose nothing, whilst also baiting out the Fiora's TP. TP mid coming in from the LeBlanc. The top lane, however, Zed jumps in. Kane gets caught up into the Gravis, which gets bursted. Kai'Sa forced to ulti in the backline as they slowly play back to front. Rise will kill off the set. Gangplank falls low. Kai'Sa heals for the move speed, as Fiora looks to chase this Gangplank. He will get the kill, however will die in the process, and the shutdown will go over to the Nautilus instead. However, this means that Baron will fall to the red side as the blue jungler is dead. Set getting caught out for his aggression just now. LeBlanc jumps in looking to burst the Nautilus, but will feed away his life as the blue team get an ace wiping, and the red team get an ace wiping the blue team off the map. Rise now 7-3-3, despite being super under farm just now with 1 kill and about 3 deaths. Didn't die for the past 20 minutes and now has a 600 gold bounty. Rabadon's almost complete on the rise now, as it starts becoming dangerous for the blue team. Both the Rise and Kaisa approaching late game status. Almost at 300 CS each. They will, however, need to fight for this Elder, spawning in 30 seconds. This Elder could very well decide who wins this game, as well as the tournament. Red team currently taking control outside the Dragon Pit, as the blue team's unable to step in. Both teams will dance outside the pit, Set moving deeper into the red side jungle. As Fiora dashes over the wall back to safety. Gangplank looking to shove in mid, potentially steal an inhibitor, while the red team is forced to stay outside of the pit. However, is responded by the Kaisa. Both teams starting to move away from the Elder, as the Blanc checks for vision. Control over the Dragon Pit being handed back over to the red team. That's all the visions being dewarded. Both teams still unwilling to start the Elder, as they realize how devastating it could be if they lose a fight now. Gangplank once again looking to split mid, as the Set guards his flank. Whole team is actually moving towards mid, giving away control of the Elder Dragon. Red team starts the Elder, aware of the fact that they showed mid. Rammus, however, is here. Gets the smite onto the Elder Dragon. This may just be the game, as the red team is currently all falling to the Elder Dragon buff. The game's just over. There is no way that Nautilus defenses alone. He too will fall. And this should be the game for Barney and friends. The red team will surrender, and Barney and friends will be your champion for this game after winning the smite battle at the Elder Dragon. Looking at this replay, the Rammus just walks in, gets the smite, and then everyone on the red team just falls, trying to rush the dragon. The positioning was messed up because everyone was in the pit. And they just didn't realize how close the blue team actually was. What a way to end the series, as the game is literally thrown by the entire red side team.